Well, we're in a new console generation, fellas. The wheel of time has turned. Xbox Series X, the dumbest named console of all time, it has been released at the time of this recording, and PS5 comes out tomorrow. Although there has been some alarming comparisons on the internet. The Xbox Series X solid state drive is faster than the PS5 solid state drive. Sam, what are your thoughts on this controversy?
I mean, my thoughts are my PC are faster than both of them. I mean, it's probably faster, but like a second or two. It doesn't make any difference.
I saw a side by side where they said like on some games it's like a few seconds. On one particular, like I think they booted up Final Fantasy 15. They said it was like, I don't know, like 15 seconds faster. Like it took like 45 seconds on Series X and like a minute on PS5 or something like that.
For me, a big reason I'm a little about Xbox is because their hard drives are what do they call it? When it's like made for the machine only.
Oh,
proprietary, yes. Whereas the PlayStation, I can go buy any NVMe, like it's the fastest form of SSD. That's I won't go into the computery details, but I can go buy anyone from the shelf, and just slap it in there. And the port that I don't even have to take the old one out. There's a port in there specifically for expansion. So I'm not too worried about it. But I'm more interested in what I read about the backwards compatibility for PS4 games on the PS5. Has some really interesting stuff they've done. Let's say, as long as the game, like, PS4 Pros had like quality mode, performance mode. Quality mode is like as close to 4K as they can get, usually locked around 30 frames per second. Performance mode will be 60 frames or like unlocked frame rate, so it could jump all around but get up to 60 frames. Maybe it's slightly less, some graphics are tweaked. If any PS4 game has an unlocked frame rate, you can basically play those games at 40K, 60 frames per second.
That seems kind of cool.
Which is really cool. I mean, that's like they play better than they did on the PlayStation 4 on the PS5, basically.
Well, I did hear one other thing. I saw videos talking about Xbox has like I forget what it's called, but like you can like freeze a game and like go play another game, and then when you want to go back, you can instantly jump back to the point that you were in your other game without like having to load it up. And I guess PS5 doesn't have that feature. I'll never know because I'm never going to get either of these consoles. But I was like, that sounds kind of cool.
PS5 has a really weird feature that I don't know if I like, but it might be cool. That you can, if the developers put it in, they basically have like a strategy guide built into every game where you just hit a button and like it'll see where you're at, and a little card pops up and it gives you like a video on like how to do that part. It reminds me of which Nintendo game, which Mario game was it that would have like Luigi show up and do it for you if you couldn't figure it out? There was some Mario game that did that, like on the Wii or Wii U or something.
Maybe one of the new Super Mario Brothers or
something like that. Yeah. It reminded me of that. I think the coolest thing that PlayStation has is this controller. Actually, it's got like the haptic feedback, but what it's really cool are the triggers.
That shit's insane, man.
Have you looked at that, Aaron? Do you know what we're talking about?
No. What's going on with their triggers?
The triggers are they're haptic. So like, let's say you're picking up something really heavy and then throwing it, and you use the shoulder buttons. They'll be harder to push physically as you're picking up the heavy thing, and then when you finally throw it, they'll give. So like the motors like slow it down or let it go faster, so you can actually kind of feel like the pressure of what you're doing.
The example I read was like if your character's trying to like smash a glass, it'll like as you squeeze down, it'll get harder and harder until it just gives when you finally crush it.
Yeah,
it's like adaptive.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, like it's gimmicky, but it's cool. Like it'll help a little way in immersion.
I think it's another step in that way that vibration was gimmicky, but it's now kind of like it's there and we like it, and it works really well for what it does.
Yeah,
and their vibration is also taken a step forward. And I watched Digital Foundry is a really good YouTube channel to go to. They really break down all video game stuff, like hardware, software, PC, console. But they did this experiment. Like, well, I can't explain to you like how good the vibration is in this. So he put a microphone up to it and recorded the sound, like the audio, not like the ting 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 coming out of it, but like the actual vibrations, and it would like change based on like what kind of material you were like running across with sand, and mixing kind of in tandem with the triggers and stuff, that it kind of makes this weird like more fully interactive. I don't know. It could be really stupid or it could be really cool depending on how many people pick it up and do stuff with it.
That's how those things always go. Like I remember on GameCube, they had those analog triggers where the more you pressed it.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff in the first party games like Luigi's Mansion and Mario Sunshine, but then like nobody else used it and none of their other future consoles had it. So
PS2 had the pressure sensitive buttons as well. There's one other thing. Oh, the one last thing I think is neat about, they're both doing this, but they're both going more into 3D audio for headphones. So
tight.
Not just surround sound, but like up and down, full 3D audio. But the problem with that, it's really cool, but you need special headphones for it, and they're all like $170, which is kind of ridiculous.
They go on both of your ears, and one's on top of your head, and
like a thing comes down into your mouth, and the other one goes into your ass. So it sounds all really cool. I'm looking forward to getting one eventually. Demon Souls looks amazing. Yeah. I watched an hour. They have an hour-long video on digital. Digital Foundry, where it's him and the three of the devs from Blue Point who made the remake, and they're just going down into like super detail on how they did this and like how much code is theirs, how much is the original game. It was really, really interesting.
Well, a friend of the show, Jason, told me earlier today that he like myself, will not be purchasing either of these two new consoles and is firmly in the Switch zone. So shouts out to Jason.
I have a Switch. Like I said before, I would love for them to announce a Switch Pro, like close to or before the next Monster Hunter, and I would 100% buy that just for that game. I just want a better working system for that game, because I know, like I'm debating playing it on my monitor instead of my TV because I think it'll run better. But I'm going to play that game no matter what. I just want it to play better.
Kill someone to play this game.
Oh my God!
Garo Miyamoto will die so I can play this game.
Oh no! Why, Mr. Miyamoto?
It doesn't matter. Someone.
This is the Zodiac speaking. I will kill Mr. Miyamoto unless you meet my demands. I've enclosed a riddle in my letter to the police. All right. Let's get started, folks. Let's talk about Doom. This is One Stage at a Time, a podcast where we're playing through a video game one stage at a time. We're currently playing through Doom from 1993, and today on this show we are playing through Doom Episode 3, Map 4, House of Pain. I'm Andy. Joining me as always, Aaron and Sam. And,
hello.
Let's talk about the House of Pain. So I got some quick stats for you folks. This is the fourth map in Inferno, Episode 3 of Doom. It was designed by Sandy Peterson, our hero. The music track is called Sign of Evil by our friend Bobby Prince. The par time is 2 minutes, 30 seconds. We have 4 secrets in this stage. And on the ultraviolence difficulty, there are 18 sergeants, 5 specters, 26 imps, 53 demons, 3 barons of hell, 22 troopers, 13 cacodemons, and 21 lost souls. So, fellas, what did you think of the House of Pain?
Well, you could have shortened that section to way too many goddamn demons. There was a lot of fucking shit going on this level.
Sam, I see that you switched your virtual background on the Zoom call.
I forgot that I wanted this one. That I downloaded it when I saw the name of this one, and I just, when you said the name, I forgot and I had to switch it.
But so, for our audio listeners, why don't you tell them what we're looking at here?
So, what was the level name again?
House of Pain.
So I've got the 90s Irish hip-hop band House of Pain, known for their one-hit wonder Jump Around.
Yep.
Sadly
national anthem.
Sadly not the soundtrack to this level.
At first I thought that was Freddie Mercury, like some weird like Photoshop of Freddie Mercury with this tattoo or something. It looked like he just had the mustache.
So were they Irish or,
or
were they or with like Irish or like Irish American?
I believe they were Irish.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, either
But
way,
I could be wrong. I'm not even going to look it up.
I don't know. Do you guys remember when the lead guy from House of Pain was feuding with Eminem?
Oh God, no.
That was a
No.
big storyline in white rap in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh God, no. I don't remember that at all. I
All
don't
right.
remember anything
Who
about
won?
them. Yeah.
Whoever wins, we
You
lose.
decide.
So I believe that the name of the stage is either a reference to that classic hip hop trio, House of Pain, or it could be a reference to the island of Dr. Moreau. In that classic horror novel, the good doctor's laboratory is called the House of Pain, and apparently the hip hop trio House of Pain also was making that reference.
So no matter which one it is, it's that one.
Whoever wins, we lose.
Also, one of the best bad movies ever made. The Marlon Brando's final film.
Did you ever see the documentary?
Oh yeah, I did.
Man.
Where the director went crazy. They kicked him off set, and he was so out of his fucking mind that he snuck back onto set as an extra just to watch them and curse under his breath in the crowd. It's a fucking crazy. That movie is just ridiculous.
It's insane. Like Marlon Brando was at just like peak
Jabba the Hutt, peak Jabba,
like overweight, drunk Marlon Brando, like showing up on set, just like seeing what he could get away with, just asking for increasingly more ludicrous demands, and they were just like giving it to him.
He refused to do the movie unless, I don't know the actor's name, but he's this very very small. He was like the smallest man in the world.
Yeah.
Unless that guy was in it, I think he wouldn't. He refused to memorize his line. They were either feeding them to him or they had cue cards, I think. He would just read them off. And the scene where he's like playing the piano and that with the, like he made that whole scene up, and there's like a tiny little guy. I'm pretty sure that's where like Mini-Me was spawned from, was from that. Yeah. And also there's the scientist in like the first 5 seasons of South Park. He's like crazy science. He's got a tiny little guy with him. Like that's riffing on that too. But I don't remember the documentary's name, but both are worth watching because it get some beers and some friends and watch the Island of Dr. Moreau with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando, and then try and find the documentary. Look it up, and it'll blow your mind how unhinged and out of control that movie was.
Yeah, everyone had a bad time on that.
Oh, it was horrible,
except possibly Marlon Brando. He seemed like he was having a pretty good time.
It's like a funny. It's like a funny version of In the Heart of Darkness, like how like that movie went off the rails. That was not funny, and no one had fun. This one was highly entertaining. I mean, it didn't sound like anyone had fun, but it's more funny to watch and listen to.
All right. Well, let's get into this level, fellas. So let's enter the House of Pain. Jump around, put on the Irish national anthem, and get ready for it because we are going to now join our good friend Big Mac Davis. Shout outs to Big Mac, and let's take a look at the footage here, boys. Aaron, what did you think of the House of Pain?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty, like, I don't know, I guess I'm sort of masochistic now. I like the House of Pain. It felt good. There was a lot of challenging moments, and I came a couple times and felt pretty satisfied at the end. And no, like there was some surprises, couple big surprises in some tight hallways, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
I glitched out my level.
What's that?
Do tell.
I glitched mine out. I almost 100%ed the level, except for I missed 5 items. Right in the beginning, you come into an open area, and there are 2 columns, and they have a pit underneath them with items, and there are 3 switches on a wall, and you can hit the switches to raise up the items underneath and get them. But I did middle and right, and instead of left. And then no matter what I could do, I couldn't get the left one to come up that had the invincibility and health potions.
That happened for me too. And I think the problem with that is like once the crushers start moving, you can no longer raise the floors. And the crushers start moving by proximity. So you have to walk like around them and be careful not to get too close and then hit the switches. So that happened to me too. But I later discovered that the problem is you're just supposed to not get too close.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all. I couldn't get anything to raise.
Yeah.
It was pretty frustrating.
There were just 2 switches that didn't work at all. And I was like, well, how is this supposed to work?
So unfortunately, I got everything else. I was very thorough. It was a a hellish level. It had some really cool new sprite work in it.
Yep.
There's a specific place where you come through and you can look into. I don't know if you can get back there. I never got back there, but there were Marines on spikes that were animated, which I thought was really. They were like wiggling around on the spikes, like they were squirming and alive while they were still on it.
It looked
Which I
a
thought
little
was
bit
really
like
cool.
it looked a little bit like Aaron's virtual background that he's got going right now. Kind
A
of
little bit, yeah. It was kind of like that, and there was like the crucified Marine.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was tight. You can tell that like Adrian Carmack is just having a ball. Like he's been drawing lollipops and pizzas for 2 years straight, and he's so happy to be able to draw like dismembered corpses, and he's thinking back to his days like photographing horrific injuries in a hospital, and he's like picturing the time he saw a guy get impaled by like a piece of farming equipment, and he's like drawing that. Just letting his imagination run wild.
In my head, I like to think that each of those Marines that's impaled or crucified are all Commander Keen. he's just so pissed about it still that they're in his mind. He's drawing Commander Keen every time he puts one up on the wall.
He's like, "Take this, Tom Hall."
That's probably not too far off. You guys, I don't mean to do any spoilers for future episodes or anything, but you guys know about the Commander Keen Easter egg. Is it in this game or Doom 2?
Tell us about it, brother.
There's an Easter egg in some Doom game. It might even be this one, where you find a room where you have to I can't remember. I found it like 3 weeks ago, and I can't remember the specifics, but there's like 4 crucified Commander Keens.
Oh no!
And I think you have to shoot them dead or something like that to progress.
Oh no!
I can't even remember if it's canon, but we'll look at the break or something. But I'll have to look this up. But yeah, no, there's definitely a horrifically mutilated Commander Keen in one of the Doom games.
And they're not crucified. They're hanging from a noose.
Oh no!
It looks like. If this is not a mod, but it says Doom 2.
Could be a secret level.
Oh, here's one where someone's modded that same level, but with instead of Commander Keen, it's Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I think I don't know. Yeah, I see pictures here of like Commander Keen.
Yeah, I found it. So here we go. It's in Doom 2, so no spoilers for this game, but in Doom 2, I'm just going to read this here for you. An incarnation of the character, Commander Keen, can be found in the super secret Doom 2 map, level 32, Gross, as an Easter egg. In the final room of that level, 4 hanged Commander Keen bodies are suspended from ropes by their necks around a metal cube containing the exit switch. The player must kill the 4 hanged Keens to trigger the door that hides the switch. When killed, a Commander Keen emits an electronically distorted death cry as he falls off his hanging rope to the ground, his eyes wide open, facing the player with a horrified look, middle body torn apart, showing bloodied organs and rib cages, but his head and blood-soaked tennis shoes are clearly left intact.
Oh my God.
The horrified face Keen displays when killed is the one the players see on Billy when he flies out of the level upon losing a life in the original Commander Keen games.
Sounds like Adrian Carmack really had some personal demons to work out.
And he did. Oh, boy.
Well, that's I can't wait to reach that level in my playthrough of Doom 2.
But pretty far into the game.
I did pause it here to show you, Aaron, that this is what Sam was talking about earlier, where you can look through this window at like this area where like the floor is just blood or lava or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You've got like a crucified guy. You've got a bunch of people impaled on spikes. You've got demon mouths with like blood pouring out of them. You can't ever go into this area. It's just there for nothing but window dressing.
Yeah. I remember this room. I don't remember seeing them moving around at all, but I remember this room.
If you look at the crucified guy to the left, the guy in the blood, he's moving around. He's not like doing anything big, but he's kind of just like moving his legs and kind of like he's
the one impaled on the spike there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the one that's not just like a picture on the wall, but like an actual sprite in the room. Right.
This is Adrian Carmack's idea of interior design. It's this old profane cathedral with Adrian Carmack.
Yes, I want a crucified man on the wall here and a centerpiece of a man impaled upon a spike, and I want the ceilings to look like hamburger.
Can the blood flow up the walls?
I don't see why not.
Man, that Adrian Carmack, he seems like a nice guy, you know, very pleasant, but holy shit, he had a dark imagination.
Yeah, and hey, man, that's all right. That's all right. Some of the most beautiful works of art are horrible, monstrous things. That's
That's
great.
true. Yeah, look at Hieronymus Bosch, or
the Red Dragon.
Yeah, the Red Dragon. You've seen Batman 1989, right?
Batman 1999?
1989.
1980, yeah, it's the original Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that part where Joker's defacing the art museum?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the one painting that Bob's about to spray paint. And he's like, no, Bob, I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good painting. It's Figure with Meat by Francis Bacon. It's like the Pope, but he looks like a zombie, and there's like beef carcasses hanging to his left and right. Pretty tight.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, I was just gonna say the pinkies look so silly when they're biting, like when you have a profile view of them. They look like the alien sticking out of an alien's mouth.
It's like when you use Wario's Neutral B in Smash Brothers, and it just opens his huge jaws.
Yeah, it does. That's great.
So there were a lot of like really narrow rooms in this one, like this one that we're seeing right now, where you go in and the door closes behind you, and then a Caco demon comes out of this shutter. If you're not ready for it, he can really put a hurt on you. But if you have your chain gun ready, like Big Mac Davis did, then it's easy enough. But yeah, I definitely took some damage from that guy.
Assuming you got the ammo for it too.
Yeah, there's a lot of quick saving in this level for me.
Yeah, I saved scum. I'm not ashamed of it. I saved scum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're deep into save scum territory at this point.
Yes. I don't have all day.
Exactly.
I mean, no spoilers, but once we get to episode 4, if we get to episode 4, it's just nothing but saves coming at that point. I'll tell you, I made liberal use of the BFG in this stage. Our friend Big Mac Davis only uses it a couple times here, like to take out some barons. But anytime I saw like a big group of enemies, I was like, oh, no, BFG time, not messing around.
I used it maybe 2 or 3 times, I think. Like I would shoot him once, like the Baron of Hell, and then I would take him out with the shotgun. And if I saw a big room, I'd throw one out there and then take care of any stragglers with something else.
The one time I tried to use the BFG, I didn't have enough ammo. And I was just like, oh man.
Oh no.
It felt like
here it comes, boys. Damn.
I felt like there were 2 or 3 points in this level where it was like, okay, this is the BFG room. We just gave you the gun, so here's a chance to use it, kind of thing.
It's like when you get it in Doom 2016, and immediately after that, there's a room with like 100 guys in it.
Yes, exactly. So I thought that was nice, but I feel like it's going to be like Mega Elixirs in Final Fantasy, where I'm going to have the BFG, but never use it because I'm waiting for that moment where I want to use it, but that's never going to come.
Yeah, it's too good to use.
Yeah, it's going to be like that, I think. Until whatever next boss fight where it's like, or like the next enemy I've never fought, I'll probably use it on that just because I'll be like, oh shit, or like if there's more cyber demons or something.
My first time through this game, I definitely took that same approach. I didn't want to use it. I didn't want to waste the ammo. This time, I'm trying to make myself make more liberal use of it. Just you got it. What are you going to do with it if not use it? So
exactly.
I'm trying to use it whenever I sense a fun opportunity.
The nice thing is, I hardly ever use the pulse rifle. I think it's called. So I have plenty of ammo for it for the BFG. Because like I said, I barely ever use that gun.
Well, I did use it plenty until we got the BFG, and then I didn't use it all. But even not using it, I didn't have enough ammo for it.
Well, there is a BFG in this stage. It's hard to see. It's in a secret, kind of a secret area, but you have to like drop down. It's this tiny room that there's like lava on the floor, and there's like a little alcove you drop into, and then there's a switch you press that raises it up, and it's all damage floor, so you have to jump in and raise it really quick. But you can't see it, I guess, unless you look really close. But there's actually a BFG in that little step that you drop down onto.
I did that, but I ran out as soon as I could because I didn't want to get hurt. So I didn't even. I saw the message. It said you found a secret area, but I didn't even think about. That's kind of a weird thing to do.
It is. And I didn't realize I had done that. And I was like, I guess I got something. But I didn't realize it was a BFG until I looked it up later.
So right here?
Yeah, right here. So like there's damage floor when you walk in the room. You drop down, you hit the switch, you grab the BFG, and then you're out.
Huh. Good to know, I guess. But yeah, I had no idea. I was like, I'm glad to know that something was there because it felt like the most pointless room in the level.
It gave me a lot of stress for it's like, what do I do? Room, do I jump down here? Ultimately I quick saved, but it still like stressed me out for a minute.
This room right here, we'll explain what it is, but this almost ended my run. So you come into a hallway. There is a obvious door with Red Death on it, and then touching the right corner is a tiny little stretch of blue stuff that hurts you. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to walk between the two. I didn't want to touch either of them, and I touched the red floor, which opens up a secret room, dumping like 7 pinkies and something else. I forgot what else was in there. And I was in the corner, and I got one in front, one on my left, one on my right. And that's happened to me multiple times in doing this podcast, where I basically get stuck, where I can't move anywhere, and I've just got pinkies chomping on me. So luckily, I killed one of them and got out quick enough. But yeah, I almost had to restart at that fucking point. And that's the third time it's happened to me.
Did you guys die in this level playing through?
No.
Nope. Yeah, I died a couple times.
I got really close. I think the lowest my health got at one point was 5%. So it was close. It was definitely not more luck that kept me alive than anything.
Well, fortunately, there is a lot of health to pick up. I mean, in addition to regular health packs and large health packs, there is a soul sphere, and there's also 2 invulnerability spheres. So although there's lots of ways to take damage, they kind of balance it out with the items.
Yeah, I did a lot of health backtracking to make sure I didn't die.
I wanted to say one more thing about that room we were just in, Sam. It's a Sandy Peterson's idea of a puzzle, quote unquote, where like stepping on the different tiles on the floor opens the different shutters. There's the secret door or semi-secret door where the pinkies come out of that you mentioned, and the regular door to exit the area. There's actually 2 shutters, and one opens from stepping on that blue square you mentioned, and the other will open if you step on the gray area that's between the red and the blue. But if you then move from the gray to the red, that closes one of the exit shutters. So you have to walk in a really precise way so as to keep the doors open. And it's really stupid.
I just ran up and it worked. I was running around on it and I heard like the doors moving. I'm like, huh. And then I just went, do I just go towards it? Oh, it worked. And then I just went through. I had more trouble. I want to say trouble with the next puzzle.
Okay, so let's talk about this next puzzle room, which is maybe more of the traditional definition of a puzzle. What did you guys think of this room?
Well, I mean, I knew it was a puzzle, but every time I hit a button and went to go see what it did, it was exactly what I needed, so I didn't actually have to use my brain at all. Fortunately, I guess. I liked that it was an actual attempt at a real puzzle in Doom that wasn't just something you accidentally step on or walk past. I appreciate the effort, but unfortunately or unfortunately, it was just click yes, click yes, click yes, click yes for me.
So I'll tell you what's going on in this room. There are these 2 pillars, 4-sided pillars with a switch on each side. So there's 8 switches total, and there's 2 doors on each side. So there's 4 doors total that you need to open. So out of the 8 total, or on each pillar, there's 4 on each pillar, 2 open doors, 2 closed doors. So the puzzle, quote unquote, is just finding out which 2 are the ones that open and hitting both of those on each pillar. So that, and you can kind of tell because the sound effect for a door opening is different from a door closing. So that's all you got to do. Just trial and error. Just press the buttons till you get the right ones.
I thought it was annoying. I like if I could like having to go and check the doors over and over, and like it got annoying for me. If I could have seen the doors, then maybe it would have been less so. But I didn't appreciate it personally.
it just comparatively for me, it was like it's a step in the right direction. A
It felt
puzzle.
more like something you'd see in a Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I saw those and I knew that those were switches. I'm like, okay, they're making an effort to make it obvious instead of just literally running and what was that? I think I heard a door somewhere. Let me go look around the entire level to see what just happened.
It makes me think that like because of the fact that like you have to use your brain and think through it rather than just like viscerally, working on reflex. It makes me think that John Carmack probably actively fought against including that in the level.
I could see it, like going way back to that Tim Rogers review where he talked about Doom is like search, destroy. That kind of goes against that. You have to stop and think. It's not quite searching because you know what's there. It's searching for the solution maybe, but it definitely felt different. It was definitely very noticeable. Like, oh, okay, an actual puzzle in Doom. Interesting. A little change of pace.
It might have been a little more annoying for me because I was frustrated. I definitely was still frustrated a little bit from those damn switches, those 3 switches. This is a second puzzle where it's like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
2 in a row, Sandy? Give me a break.
Yeah, pretty much. Can we talk
House
real quick?
Of Pain.
Yeah, no shit. Can we talk real quick? You know what jumped out at me as unique for this level that I hadn't encountered before?
Hit me.
That ladder. Or super steep steps.
Yeah. The very thin staircase.
Yeah. I was like, I can go back up. Wow.
Where you hop down and then can come back around the side.
Yeah.
That was an interesting room. The architecture in there, it's cramped. You like fall down and there's those big red pillars like kind of curving up and around and the 3 pinkies down below.
Crawling everywhere.
And then that super narrow staircase / ladder. That room kind of stands out for me. It's a tiny room, but just the way it's shaped is weird.
Mm-hmm. Also, lots of like interesting oddities in this level. Near the very end, where you have to go down the hallway of red pain death stuff, and there's like corridors down there, but there's health packs down the whole way. Yeah. And there's a hidden biosuit that I found after I went back to look around for some stuff.
Yeah,
but it's like just kind of weird, like. Okay. I'll put health packs down there. Like little moments in this level,
There's an invincibility sphere in the 4-door, 4-sided pillar puzzle area. And what Big Mac Davis does is wait and save it and then get that and then run across the damage floor. And there's a Baron of Hell in there too. And he just punches him out because he's got invincibility in the Berserk pack.
I continued my trend of finding the invincibility when there was nothing really to fight against. Yeah. I guess technically I did use it on my very first run. I technically did die on a run because I jumped down.
Gotcha.
But it was like 5 minutes into the run. I jumped down and couldn't get out of the...
it doesn't count at 5 minutes.
I wasn't by an enemy. It was just by waiting, basically. I jumped down where the invincibility was in the beginning and actually got smashed down really tiny, and then it went back up again, and I couldn't get out, and then it just came down and got me again.
I did that too. It was more just like, I know this is probably going to happen, but let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe there's something I don't see in there. Maybe a staircase will rise up once I jump down into it. That's or something. I was
thinking. Yeah, like a switch I don't see or something.
Yeah.
But nope, just
you guys have trained me to jump into every pit if I see it. Just secrets.
No. John Romero has trained you to do that.
Yeah. All we did was gaslight you.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Okay, well, that about brings us to the end of the stage. Final thoughts on the House of Pain.
It was fun. I liked it a lot. It was a good, solid Doom level. A lot of just like, well, fuck moments, where like you said, you go in, a door opens and closes behind you, and you got to like kill the fucking Caco demon. A lot of just like, what the hell stuff is this? Slightly frustrating, but all in all, it was
stuff.
What the hell stuff?
Yes. What the hell stuff is this? Sorry.
That's fine. Cool new sprites and all around solid. I almost said generic, but that's not fair. But like solid, Doom level. Good example of what Doom does right.
Aaron, your thoughts?
About the same. Really. I don't Yeah, all that. All that. I thought it was really cool. I loved the atmosphere of it with the big gothic torture chambers and blood spewing everywhere and hamburger floors and ceilings and the panic inducing Baron of Hell in the hallway and the weird, just like weird hallways full of medical packs because it's a damaged floor and you're going to be in a fight there. And,
No, the medical packs are there because this is Dr. Moreau's laboratory.
Right. Of course.
He needs to keep his grotesque experiments alive.
But yeah, no, I thought it was cool. I dug it. And yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
about it. What about you?
I like that it's a pretty straightforward level and not much backtracking. You're pretty much just barreling forward. It's not too confusing. You can't really get that lost. It's kind of different from Pandemonium, which was the castle was like a big kind of circular area. You could kind of loop around on it. And, you kind of revisit the same areas looking for the different card keys. Some levels are like that, where it's like a big complex like maze and you're working your way through the facility, finding all the different nooks and crannies. This was more just like straightforward. Just here's the path. Just try to get to the end. But I like that. It's like more action arcade feeling, other than the two stupid puzzles, which are kind of incongruous. But all the narrow corridors kind of just forces you to confront everything head on. So I like that feeling. All right. So next time on the program, we will be visiting E3M5 Unholy Cathedral. So please look forward to that. Before we go today, I have a brief history note that I wanted to share with you guys. So in my reading of Masters of Doom, an excellent nonfiction book, where the author talked to like everybody. I mean, he talked to Carmack, he talked to Romero, he talked to Adrian, he talked to Sandy, he talked to Tom Hall, yeah, and all the various like side characters throughout the story too. He talked to like Romero and Carmack's parents. I mean, he talked to everybody. So it's a thorough book, good read. But I did discover this little piece. We've talked about John Carmack's cat Mitzi a couple times, and how like he had this cat that like was like lived in the id Software offices in the early days. It was kind of like their mascot. They like would like jokingly put Mitzi's name in like the directory. and we said that like this is an example of like John Carmack does have a human soul. He cares about this animal. He's not just a totally robotic psychopath. Well, let me share this with you. After id Software moved to Dallas, Texas, and opened their offices there, Mitzi was like, like having bathroom accidents in the office, basically, like as she got older. And I'm sure it was very stressful for her too. Like these guys playing like black metal, like as loud as it could go, just tromping through the office at weird hours. And one day, like they came in and Mitzi was gone, and they were like, "Where's Mitzi, John?" And he was like, Mitzi was having a negative impact on my life. I took her to a shelter. And Romero was like, they're going to put her to sleep, right? And he was just like, had to be done.
What? All right.
Damn.
So John Carmack, fuck you, man.
A stone cold killer of kitties.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's brutal. I don't know how he could do Mitzi dirty like that.
I mean, some people are pet owners until it's hard, then they just don't like. Some people never consider pets part of their family, and that's not really something I would recommend.
Just foster an animal first if you're not sure, and see if you like it.
Yeah,
that. Fuck you, John Carmack.
I know. Yeah, that's like, I was starting to like have some sympathy for him. Like maybe he's not so bad. Maybe he's just misunderstood. Maybe that incident as a child where he used thermite to melt the window of the school computer lab to steal computers. Maybe that was just a one-off, and he turned over a new leaf. But nope, he just like he was willing to cut Tom Hall out when Tom Hall got too annoying. He was willing to cut his beloved cat Mitzi out as well as soon as she pooped on the floor one too many times. So,
yeah.
John Carmack, you are officially a suppressive person, and you are no longer welcome at the church of one stage at a time.
You just shouldn't have had a cat, man. Just don't get a cat. You're not going to take care of it properly. Like I'm not like I'm not like a pet person. Like if I went about my life by myself, I wouldn't choose to have a pet. I like animals. I think they're adorable. I'm glad that people take care of them. I just don't want to do that. I recognize that about myself. But if there is a pet in my charge, I take care of it, goddammit.
Yeah. You definitely don't take it to a shelter, where they're probably going to euthanize it.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, poor Mitzi. I tried to find a picture of Mitzi, but I don't think any exist, at least not publicly available on the internet. But yeah, that story just really hits me. Like,
well, yeah, this is a good. Let's end it on a real upper note, guys. Fucking dead cats. Was it? Yeah, that sucks.
Well, that is a downer for sure. But we can all, take comfort in the fact that our Lord and Savior, Sandy Peterson, would never ever hurt a harmless animal because he's a good Mormon boy from Missouri, and he's has nothing but the kindest regard for our furry friends.
Here's to Sandy.
Here's to Sandy, a real hero.
I'm just going to change the subject completely for a minute. It's something that I wanted to ask you, Andy, about. Not related to Doom at all, but we're just going to wrap up the podcast on a different discussion. Andy, have you played any of Mario 35, Super Mario 35?
Yeah, I played a little bit.
Yeah, you enjoy it?
It's cool. It's like I played one round of it. I played one round and I was like, this is cool. I should play more of it. And then every time like I turn on my console, I'm like, I'd rather play like Bloodborne or Mario 64 or, any number of other games. But it's cool. It's a cool idea. The time that I played it, the problem I ran into was that the session was so long. Like and I was playing on like the most basic map, so it was just World 1. But like it just like some people can just keep going on those maps for like 30 minutes or something. So like I got into like I think like the top 10 or something, but that was already like 8 or 9 minutes into it. And then after I died, I kept watching, and the last 3 guys, it was just the 3 of them. They played for like another 10 minutes straight. It was insane.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with the early levels is that like you don't. So like as you get into the harder maps, you get more interesting enemies and more dangerous enemies. Like, and you'll have bloopers show up, like in the overworld, and all of a sudden you're underwater, and there's Bowser shooting fire at you. And
Bowser's
stuff,
and Hammer Bros. I didn't play it, but one of my streamers, Moon, played it for about a week, and he got really into it, and pretty high ranked. But yeah, even I lost interest in watching it. It's cool. Mm-hmm. It's definitely maybe it should have been like how much was it?
It's free.
It was free.
It's free.
Oh, okay, perfect. Free.
Yeah, exactly. It's only available till March though. Like for Mario's like 35th anniversary. Like that.
Cool idea. Could use now one thing I was thinking about that would have made it like really, really cool is that if instead of just being Mario, it was multiple Mario games.
Yeah.
So it would cycle through different Mario levels and Mario enemy types.
Yeah.
So just pull from all the 2D Marios. So like Mario 1, 2, 3, a new Super Mario Brothers, maybe even Game Boy or something crazy, Super Mario Land 2 or something. Because then you wouldn't like get into like, oh, I know Mario well enough that I can even defeat 500 Goombas. Like that would be super, super interesting, I think.
No, I agree. That's a really good idea.
Give some
legs. Bet that'd be a little bit harder to code, but
maybe. But they could probably use.
They've already, they're halfway there with the Mario Builder. With the
that's
Mario
what I'm
Maker.
saying. They could probably use that and rebuild the levels with that, since it's already designed to have all the other stuff in it at the same time. I don't. I don't make no video games, but I think would give it. It's one easy idea. Who knows how hard it is to implement? That could make that game like, or like if they wanted to support it and do what those like battle royale games do, where they add seasons in. You buy a season pass, and that adds in Mario 2, and then every season pass, like a $10 DLC or something for people who are really into it. Each one adds in and mixes up like new Mario games or something. But that's too advanced for Nintendo's thinking on games.
No, Mario 1, and that's it. Never again.
You can't even buy it after March.
Yep, that's Nintendo for you. They they don't want you to actually play their games. They just want you to give them your money.
No.
They would just give us a fucking virtual console. God damn it.
We just want you to like us. They're like gods, like an American gods, right? It's just you just have to know us and worship us. We don't care if you play the games. That's just a way for you to know who we are so we can have power.
Yeah, it's the source of their power. They're drawing off, they're feeding on our goodwill like vampires.
Yes. We can't give them everything they want or they'll ignore us.
Yeah. We have to keep on hoping we'll release it later. Maybe next month we'll release the N64 online.
Yeah. Keep holding your breath on that one.
It's 3D, man. It's too hard. It's too hard for little old Nintendo. Anymore. It's too much. Do 3D over the internet? Can we do that?
Well, they do seem to have an N64 emulator that they're happy with. The Mario 64 on the 3D collection it plays like a dream. I mean, because the thing for a long time was that the analog stick on the N64 isn't really an analog stick. It's different in terms of like the mechanism from like modern ones. Like it has like those 8 directions that it like clicks into place onto. And like under the hood, like, underneath the controller where like it connects to the circuits and everything, the whole mechanical thing down there is very different from like the way a modern analog stick would work. So if you play it on an emulator, which you shouldn't do because we don't support piracy on this program, but if you do, it feels like it plays really stiff for that reason because your stick's more smooth now. It's not going to click into place like the N64 stick would. So for the longest time, even like the old Virtual Console ones, there was that problem. So I was worried about that, but as soon as I booted it up on this version, it played so just buttery smooth, just perfect, like God intended. It seems like they've worked the kinks out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had more N64 games, maybe not for free, like the way they're doing SNES and NES.
Yeah,
maybe for pay, for cash money, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more.
They could just, what they should do, but it's Nintendo, so we'll see, is change their online service. So like, Sony is jumping onto the Xbox Game Pass bandwagon. And if you pay for PlayStation Plus, it's no longer like, here's a game you get, but don't forget to get it or you'll never have it again. It's just, here's the library. You can play them whenever you want of old games. And Nintendo kind of does that with their old ones. They should just make it a little more expensive and throw the N64 games on there too.
Yeah, I agree. And I wouldn't mind if like it was stuff that got cycled on, like, you get to play Final Fantasy, but only for this month, and then it's going to be
good. That's how they do Game Pass. They're constantly moving things in and out on Game Pass, and I'm pretty sure that's what they'll do on whatever they call the new PlayStation thing, which is totally
pretty much
fine.
Guarantees that Nintendo won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there already?
With it? No, don't copy it. Do the opposite.
Isn't their online pretty cheap compared to everybody else's online?
Yeah, it's only $20 for the year.
Yeah. For the year? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's $20.25, but
make it $30 for the year, or fuck. I'm gonna. Well, 50, 60 is what I pay, I think, now for PlayStation. But yeah, like
that's what it generally is. Yeah,
just bump it up, or like on holiday, I get it like 40. Whenever I do get it for you, it's like 40 something bucks. I get it on sale. But yeah, I mean, like fuck. If it had, Super Mario 64, fucking Jet Force Gemini, and
oh yeah, well they're rare
GoldenEye,
so that's not gonna happen.
Okay, yeah, and GoldenEye as well, right?
Yeah, GoldenEye, but there's a whole licensing issue with that. It hasn't been re-released ever because of that.
Yeah, they'd have to pay for the license of the movie and all the music, and I don't know what it's like about like people's actors, how that license. That's a nightmare. Yeah.
It's a serious nightmare.
And then the way things have been going on Twitch, if they did come out that no one could stream it because they're having this crazy thing where they're doing copyright strikes on people's past broadcasts that had music in it, which is understandable. But there's a rumor, and because one person had it happen with audio in a game. So they were playing a game on stream, and it had licensed music that I think the license had run out with the company who licensed the game to the music to the game, and he played it, and so they striked his channel because of that.
Oh,
because it was no longer licensed in the game. Yeah, it's about to get real fucky on Twitch.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, it was so bad that they were like, "Look, we're going to strike you, and if we strike you so many times, you're banned from Twitch." So Twitch said, we recommend deleting all of your VODs, all of your
God.
And it's what everyone's done. They're deleting all of their old clips and their old like archived videos. Luckily, a lot of the popular streamers have. It's kind of interesting how it's turned out. They had people who were just copying their VODs and putting them up on YouTube.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So like Moon was like, I deleted them all, but here's a link to 4 places that have been doing it for as long as I can remember anyways.
Yeah,
so he's like promoting that. So it's just been all kinds. They were already too like automatically, they had like an AI that was like muting the music if it was copyrighted, if it knew about it, but it's not perfect. But people are worried about these licenses in the game, and like there's no it's kind of like the Wild West, like with movies and stuff. If you want to like when I worked at the library, every year we had to buy a license to show movies in the library, and we subscribed to an online licensing company that gave us permission to show even more movies for events. And if we didn't have them on there, we couldn't, and if we did, we could get in trouble, legal trouble.
But there's no infringement.
There's no broadcast stuff for games and for streamers to do it. So like few streamers were saying they need to have like the guys who have more money can do this, buy a license to stream and don't worry about copyrights and only do stuff from that. So it's all kind. It's really I always find this stuff super, super interesting.
I do too, and all that licensing shit is crazy. Like, and it makes me think of like the Scott Pilgrim game and all that stuff. But I remember I was watching a video a while back where like some speedrunner was getting real salty because like someone else had like taken like clips of his run and like used it in another video without attribution. And he was getting so salty because he was like, this is my run. I have a copyright in my speed run. And I was like, no, you don't, brother. Your whole speed run is copyright infringement.
Yeah, exactly. There was another thing that happened recently where a guy, a WoW player, God, what was his name? It was Preheat, Heat, was up and coming, and he was starting to make a name for himself. And there was this other guy who had made videos before him whose name was Preheat, Heet. So he like tried to was like getting the guy to like, you need to change your name, even though he was second. And then he like copywrote his name and then tried to sue the guy into changing his name, even though he'd been doing it beforehand. But then the community found out, and it was just like everyone was like shitting on the guy. But it's just like, gaming, and specifically content creators within gaming, and like the legal shit that's starting, like that's all just kind of fascinating to like watch happen, because it's just like, God, it's so complicated, and I can't believe they've gotten away with it for this long. And that it ain't gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen soon where a company's like, DMCA, you can't play our game on stream.
And that company,
but what's gonna happen?
I was gonna say Nintendo's already done that, and they've walked it back.
Yeah, but I'm curious because, like, if whoever sticks to it, because I don't think most companies realize that it's like good for them, right?
Exactly. That's but the music industry good for them.
But the music industry is retarded, and they're like Nintendo is with online, and they're stuck in the fucking past. They don't understand how this shit works. Because like I've bought multiple albums from finding out bands from streamers, but it's just
I will say that I have personally watched videos of games that I've never played and have no intention of ever playing. So take that for what you will.
But have you also watched a game that you saw and then went, that looks fun as shit, I want to play that, and then actually played it?
I don't know. I mean, usually it's something that I wouldn't want to play anyway.
Like, it has for me. I think for me, a big thing proponent towards streaming is that I never would have gotten into fighting games if it wasn't for streaming. Because I was like, oh my God, it's too complicated. But then I watched a lot of guys. I had a few streamers who like played a lot of fighting games. And I'm like, okay, maybe. And then one day I played one with a friend. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. And I went out and bought a stick. And now I got what, 5, 6, 7 of them on my desktop right now. I don't. I fucking suck at them, but it's fun.
But
it's. I just hope it doesn't. Man, if there's no way that they're gonna get rid of streaming because it's too fucking. It's exploded with how much money it makes.
Too big to fail.
What'll happen is Amazon needs to stop fucking penny pinching and, you know, milking the cat, so to speak, you know, like squeezing the fucking all the titty money out of it that it can. I don't know where I got up with that analogy, but like basically they're like
meet the parents.
Yeah. It's like
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Yeah. They're right now they're being really douchey and they're doing everything they can to make money for themselves and not support the creators. But there's going to be a tipping point where they're going to have to support the creators to keep making money. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when they finally do that. Because right now ads have gotten so bad on Twitch that I actually dropped my Netflix account and paid for Twitch Turbo that gets rid of all ads.
Damn.
My ad blocker, like they were starting to do all this crazy shit where like if I had an ad blocker, it would lock you into 480. You couldn't go HD anymore.
Brutal.
There was all kinds of but without ad blocker, they were auto rolling ads out of control of the creators for like 90 seconds. It's like 7 ads in a row. It was totally out of control. So I was like, fuck, I don't even care if I'm giving them money. If this is what they want, I don't care. I watch Twitch.
YouTube's kind of bad now for that too.
I had uBlock Origins blocks the shit out of everything everywhere else. It's just Twitch for some reason. I don't know what the fuck's happening with Twitch. And honestly, I actually watch a lot of YouTube on my TV, and at least they have the skip function where you can just watch it for 5 seconds and skip.
Yeah.
They don't have that on Twitch. No, they give you a minute and a half of ads you have to watch, and they're all ads you've seen 500 times.
Yeah,
it's so shitty. So I paid $8.99 a month, and I don't have to see them anymore. But I mean, I watch it on 4 different screens. I'm like watching it on my TV, upstairs, at work. I mean, you know, before I clock in at work.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, is Sam's employer, if you're listening, he only does it before he clocks in at work and at
lunch.
All right. Well, on that note, nobody is listening at this point. This is the last 5 minutes just for us. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Folks, thank you for listening to another exciting episode of One Stage at a Time. We'll be back in your podcast feeds in about a week's time, where we will be playing through and talking about E3M5, the unholy cathedral. Sam, what is your advice? What are your words of wisdom for our listeners at home before we leave today?
If someone tries to make you leave Facebook for Parler, find an adult.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
Sage advice.
And Aaron, what do you want to say to the folks at home?
I want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. Please go to onestageatatime.com for more episodes and links to all of our fun things. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Follow us on our socials. We really appreciate it. And Sam, give us that sign off, my man.
Save and continue. Jump around.